Hello. Welcome back to another video. We have Star Wars Rebel Force again this evening with Chapter 4, so let's get right into it. We are nothing, he repeats, as he is told. The light blinds him. He opens his eyes wide against the pain. We are no one. You belong to me, the commander says. We belong to you. They are 7, but they are 1. 1 in mind, 1 in obedience, 1 in life. They are no one. Count off, the commander says. The young men obey. X1, shouts the first, X2, the second, and down the line. He waits, and then, X7, he shouts. The lights blink out. Darkness. Time to sleep, the commander says. X7 braces for the blow. It is always sooner than he expects, always harder. Pain blossoms from the back of his head, blots out the world. Time to sleep. Once he'd plotted the course to Coruscant, X7 stretched out his bunk, staring at the ceiling. The Praybird starfighter had seen better days, and it wasn't much for comfort or show, but the autopilot would take him where he needed to go. At least, that's what the Rodian had boasted before he died. No need to go anywhere now, my friend, X7 had told the Rodian, lying lifeless at his feet. So I'm sure you won't mind if I take her for a spin. Then he'd holstered the blaster and lifted off. The commander wanted him on Coruscant within a day. And what the commander wanted, the commander received. For X7, these were words to live by. Literally. The stun cuffs pin him against the wall of the durasteel. The light pierces his eyeballs, and the figure facing him is nothing more than a shadow. But he knows it is the commander. It is always the commander. He does not struggle. He only waits for this moment to pass, and then the next. He dreads the future. The past is forbidden. The present is his only home. Who are you? The commander asks. I am X7. What is your purpose? The commander asks. To serve you. To what end? The commander asks. To serve the Empire. Where do you come from? The commander asks. From nowhere. Pain. Everywhere at once. It is born inside of him, exploring out of him, and then it is gone. Where do you come from? The commander asks again. I cannot remember. He gives the answer the commander wants to hear. Pain. Greater now. More intense, like a knife hollowing him out. Liar! The commander roars. Have you not learned it is impossible to lie to me? The sensors on his forehead take measure of his thoughts, his emotions. He has no secrets from the commander. He has no secrets. What do you remember of your past? The commander presses him. Nothing. He gasps, already anticipating the pain that follows in the next instant. The explosion in his brain casts a shadow of darkness, and for a blissful moment, he is lost. But the commander calls him back, jolts him awake. He wants to obey. He wants to blot out his memories, to empty himself of the past. He struggles to erase it all. He has no name, no history. His life is blank. He remembers nothing but these walls, the light, the commander's voice, pain. Almost nothing. But there are images. A small girl, blonde, with an innocent smile. A grassy hill, and just beyond it a lake, cool and refreshing. 2 suns blazing against a violet sky. A woman's voice. A hand on his forehead, soft and warm. He wants to forget, but not as much as he wants to remember. They are only images. They are all he has left. Tell me what you remember, the commander says. His fingers twitch over the switch that will bring the pain. He would rather die than survive another jolt, and they would not let him die. I remember a girl, he says softly. She's my sister, friend, daughter, but the memory will not come. Only her face, only her smile. She is mine, he tells the commander. The commander smiles. Not anymore. The hours crept by as X7 drew closer and closer to Coruscant. X7 knew, because he had done extensive research on ordinary behavior, that most beings would feel the need to fill the time. They would fiddle with the datapad, play a game of Didrik, even gaze out the window at the emptiness of space. And when necessary, X7 would do the same. On a mission, he was well equipped to fit in. But alone, he had no such need. He had stripped the mattress from his bunk. The rigid durasteel against his back felt comfortably familiar. He appreciated these hours, alone in space. So much of his life was a careful act. Isolated moments like this came as a relief. He could drop the mask and exist as he was. Empty. No one in the galaxy had ever seen X7 like this, his true self exposed. No one but the commander, of course, who knew him inside and out. As he should. The commander had made him. He faces the commander as an equal, though they will never be equals. There are no more restraints, no more censors, no more neuronic binders to inflict punishing pain. They are well beyond this. He sits on one side of the desk, the commander on the other. He waits. "Congratulations, X7, the commander says. He holds out a hand, and X7 knows to shake it. He has been well trained. He can act human. The commander tells him he is human. The commander tells him that the lessons he's learned, how to smile, how to laugh, how to imitate sorrow or fear or joy, are things he needs and used to understand instinctively. That he once was a being like other beings, soft and stupid. He feels sorry for that other self. He is grateful to the commander for eliminating it. I have to admit, I always thought X3 would be the one, the commander says, shaking his head. He seemed somehow impervious. But he had not been impervious to X7's vibroblade in their final training bout. X1 and X6 had been easily dispatched. X2 had malfunctioned and tried to escape. X5 had malfunctioned as well, began muttering about alliances and encouraged to others to see the commander as their enemy. That was before X7's emotions had died away. He had been able to enjoy the kill. X4 had hung himself with a laser whip. And then there was one. They were your friends once, the commander says. Your partners in our exciting new venture. You feel no sorrow over their deaths. He knows the commander's testing him. But they are beyond tests now. He feels no anxiety. He has nothing to hide. I feel nothing, he says honestly, but the desire to obey. The commander nods. You're ready. There's just one last thing. I want to introduce you to someone. He presses a button on his console and a screen rises from the desk. A face appears. His head is shaved, young, barely more than a child, but with the eyes of a man, stone, gray, and cruel. His thin lips pressed together, a flat line running parallel to the single crease in his forehead. His skin is purpled with fading bruises, and a network of thin scars spider across his scalp. Recognize him? The commander asks. X7 shakes his head. The man on the screen shakes his head. X7 opens his mouth to speak. The man on the screen opens his mouth to speak. X7 understands. The commander sees it in his eyes, presses a button, and the mirrored screen drops back down into the desk. X7 realizes this was the final test. He has passed. He is ready. Since X7's last trip to Coruscant, the commander had switched offices. He was now located midway up a towering spire in the planet's wealthiest quadrant. But this office was identical to the other, lacking in any personal effects. The spare space contained only a desk, a single shelf, and a widescreen view screen. Welcome, the commander says, gesturing for X7 to take a seat. There had been a time when the commander had been the only being he knew. His face had filled X7's world. Now, many missions later, after traveling the galaxy and encountering beings of all kinds, X7 understood that the commander was unusually thin and weak. His watery eyes, his pinched features, his stooped shoulders, they were not the mark of an intimidating man. X7 saw this objectively, as he saw everything objectively. He saw the being before him as others saw him, Rezi Sorish. He thought, testing the name in his mind, trying to fit it to the man, but it was no use. The man before him would always be the commander, the center of his universe. Pleasing the commander was all he needed in life. Disappointing the commander was death. He understood now that this was not natural, that this was not the way other beings lived. Other beings had desires of their own, names, identities, histories. X7 had no name, only his designation, like a droid. Other men had free will, while X7 had only Sorish. He knew this to be true, and he knew that Sorish had done this to him. But knowing the truth changed nothing. X7 had free will as well, and like all other beings, he willed himself to be happy. Happiness was obeying Sorish. The commander passed the datapad along the desk. A valuable piece of Imperial property has been destroyed by the rebel Scourge. Your target is the pilot who fired the fatal blow. You will infiltrate the Rebel Alliance, gain proof of his identity, and report back. The datapad contains everything we've got on the Alliance. Operations, security protocols, personal data, everything. X7 nodded. You will arrange to be in a position to kill him on my command, the commander continued. You will cast the blame on someone else so that you can remain at the heart of the Alliance. Everything they know, you will know, and everything you know, I will know. For how long? X7 asked. The commander smiled. Until the pilot is dead and the rebel threat has been eliminated. X7 rose, tucking the datapad securely into his utility pouch. It will be done. Nice, nice. Well, that brings us to chapter 5. So, I hope you all enjoyed. Don't forget to leave a like and a comment, and don't forget to subscribe. I hope you have a great rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening. And remember, stay hydrated, stay cool, and I'll see you all